Hi everyone. My name is Ayşegül Yılmaz and I hold a PhD in Urban and Regional Planning and Design from the University of Maryland at College Park. My master's and bachelor's degrees are from the Middle East Technical University in Ankara. I currently live in Istanbul, where I've been working as an independent researcher and practitioner in the area of cultural heritage management. Since receiving my PhD in 2012, I have taught in the area of cultural heritage management at different Turkish universities. I have also been involved as a heritage expert in different national and international heritage management and research projects in Turkey. More recently, I have done consultancies for the European Cultural Roots Institute in Luxembourg. Over the years, my research interests have evolved around heritage theory, heritage management, conservation governance and policy, the World Heritage Convention, World Heritage Sites and their inclusive management, heritage interpretation, and cultural tourism, particularly cultural roots. Now I'm very excited to be working as a senior fellow at ANAMED and the British Institute at Ankara, where I will be conducting research on my project titled Archaeological Heritage Management and Community Development, the case of ancient Heraclea and the village of Kapıkırı in the Latmos region. But before I start explaining my research project, let me share a few words about why I chose to conduct research on this topic. While pursuing my PhD, I became interested in the broad field of conservation and development, more specifically in strategies that aim both heritage conservation as well as the socio-economic development of communities living nearby heritage, and looking at the situation in Turkey, a country exceptionally rich in natural and archaeological heritage. I was wondering how conservation policies implemented at heritage sites, such as nature parks and archaeological sites, and increased tourism that generally comes with it, impact the socio-economic development and well-being of communities that live in and around such sites. While there are many village communities in Turkey that are located nearby archaeological sites, back then I came across the village of Kapıkırı, a village located in the Latmos region in southwestern Anatolia, nearby the town of Milas, a sub-province of Muğla, and decided to conduct dissertation fieldwork there. What makes the village of Kapıkırı perhaps a bit more special or interesting than other sites is that the village settlement is situated in the midst of the ruins of the ancient Greek-Roman settlement of Heraclea and is therefore encircled by the very strict first-degree archaeological site designation, which does not permit villagers to conduct any form of alteration around their house or any other form of new construction. In addition, the village is also situated at the northeastern shores of Lake Bafa, which is protected under the category Nature Park by the Turkish government. So my fellowship project at ANAMED will be based on ethnographic dissertation fieldwork that I conducted earlier in the village of Kapıkırı. By revisiting the case of Kapıkırı, my goal is to reassess heritage management and community development circumstances a decade later and turning my findings into publications. Like many other parts of Anatolia, with its exceptional natural and archaeological heritage, the Latmos region has been under significant threat as a result of extensive mining operations, besides illicit digging. For those of you who might not be familiar with the region, the area constitutes layers of relatively well-preserved archaeological heritage from prehistoric times in the form of rock art to Byzantine times. Furthermore, extensive pollution in and around the lake and droughts caused by climate change have been causing the formation of excessive algae form, bad smells, and the withdrawal of water at Lake Baffa. All these factors have been negatively affecting the integrity of heritage in the area, as well as the quality of life of communities and the region's significant potential for ecotourism and cultural tourism. The case is also worthy of discussion as it represents one among perhaps thousands of Turkish village communities living adjacent to or nearby archaeological sites, as well as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, providing a microcosm on the various heritage conservation, management, and community development dilemmas experienced in the more rural parts of the country. So, as part of my fellowship project, I plan to spend several days in the region conducting face-to-face, semi-structured and informal interviews with villagers living in direct contact with archaeological heritage, as well as with local officials responsible for the conservation and management in the region. Over the course of the fellowship, I will then be analyzing both previously as well as newly collected data, comparing and turning my findings into publications. So by collecting first-hand official and unofficial accounts from a case such as the village of Kapıkırı, the goal of my research is to provide insight on pressing heritage management and community development issues in Turkey, hopefully initiating the development of more holistic and pluralistic conservation policies that are responsive to changing local socio-economic needs and environmental conditions, meeting the needs of local communities while preserving heritage resources for generations to come. So I very much look forward to conducting my research at ANAMED and the British Institute at Ankara, and wish all fellows a very productive and happy time in Istanbul. Thank you very much for listening.